I didn't have fun playing this game, completely, and I know how strange that sounds, because I kept coming back. I would finish a session, close the game, and instead of launching something else, I would just sit there. No hype, no rush, no one more mission. Just this quiet feeling like, yeah, that was heavy. And this is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and it didn't entertain me, it stayed with me, and that's why I want to talk about it. Expedition is technically an indie RPG, but calling it indie feels misleading. It's not small in ambition, it's not minimal, and it's definitely not safe. It mixes turn-based combat with real-time pressure, surreal world design, and a tone that feels closer to an art film than a traditional RPG. There is no power fantasy here, there is no chosen one energy, no heroic arc waiting to reward you. You're just a part of the system that existed long before you and will keep going without you. The world of Expedition doesn't explain itself. It doesn't slow down for you, it doesn't ask you if you're comfortable. You are dropped inside, and everything keeps moving, whether you understand it or no. NPC don't stop to educate you. Locations don't come with clear emotional labels. You're not told what to feel, you're expected to figure it out by yourself. And at first, that's frustrating, but then something starts changing. You can stop asking the game to explain itself and start to just pay attention to details. Exploration in Expedition isn't about rewards. There are no constant discoveries, no chests every 30 seconds, no dopamine breadcrumbs pulling you forward, and most of the time you're walking through spaces that don't acknowledge you. Dead ends, quiet paths, places that feel important without ever explaining why, and that changes how you move. You stop sprinting, you stop scanning for icons, and you start reading the environment instead. Enemy placement starts to feel intentional. Silence becomes a warning. Empty space becomes information. You're not exploring to gain something. Now you're exploring to understand whether you should even be here, and that makes every step feel heavier than any loot system ever could. On paper, the combat looks familiar, turn-based, abilities, but in practice it feels tense. Every action has weight, every mistake lingers, and there is no "I will fix this later" mentality, because later usually comes with the consequences. You can't brute force fights, you can't rush them, you're consistently reading the battlefield, enemy patterns, timing windows, risk against reward. It's not about the perfect execution, it's about respect. You supposed to respect the system and you supposed to respect the enemy. When you lose, it never feels random, it feels deserved. And that changes how you play. You starting to slow down, you starting to create a plans, and you stop chasing dopamine. And you start chasing survival instead. What really defines combat in Expedition isn't difficulty, but commitment. Once you choose an action, you're locked into it. No animation cancels, no last second corrections, and no safety net. That sounds simple, but it completely changes your mindset. You stop asking, can I pull this off? And start asking, is this worth the risk? Because every move costs something. For example, it can be resources, position, momentum, and even some fights punish aggression. Or other, for example, can punish for the hesitation. And the game never tells you which the right way to beat this guy. You learn by failing, by playing too safe, and eventually combat stops being about winning. It becomes about control. Controlling tempo, controlling space, controlling your own impatience. And that's why victories feel quiet. There is no explosion of relief, just a calm realization: I didn't rush this one and I win this one. Some people call Expedition as a difficult game, and I don't think that's accurate. It's not hard, but unforgiving. The game doesn't cheat, it doesn't spike the difficulty for the shock value, it simply remembers what you did. Bad ideas with the abilities or a pure resource management follows you through the fight. And you don't lose because the game is unfair, you lose because you didn't think in advance. And the game doesn't soften that lesson, it just lets you to sit with it and enjoy it. Most games nowadays want you to feel good for the whole gaming session. New loot, new numbers, new rewards every few minutes. But this game doesn't care about it at all. Progress here is subtle, sometimes invisible, and you don't always feel stronger, you feel more aware, more intentional. And after a while, faster games start to feel, just empty. Not bad, hollow. That's when I realized this game isn't trying to entertain me, it's trying to change how I engage. Progression is hard to notice in this game, not because it's weak, but because it doesn't announce itself. You don't suddenly feel powerful, you don't outgrow enemies, you don't reach a point where the game bends to you. Instead, you adapt. You make fewer mistakes, you take fewer unnecessary risks, you retreat earlier, you commit later. The game doesn't teach you through tutorials, it teaches you through consequences. And that's uncomfortable, because you can't measure the growth. There is no bar for awareness, no stat for patience. But when you go back to earlier encounters, you realize something changed. Not the numbers. You did. The sound design matters in this game sometimes more than the music. Silence is used deliberately. There are moments where nothing pushes you forward. No dramatic score, no emotional cue, just space. Visually, the game avoids clarity. Shapes blur, colors bleed, and the environments feels unstable. It's not about beauty, it's about discomfort, and it works sometimes. And here it is, maybe my favorite part of this video. At some point of the story, the conversation shifted. AI tools, awards, disqualification debates, the internet did what it always does. But what struck me was the irony. A game accused of being AI game felt more human than a lot of perfectly polished releases. That's not a defense from my side, it's just my personal observation. Whatever side you're on, the experience itself from this game doesn't disappear because of this AI problem. The strangest part comes after you stop playing. You don't immediately launch something else, and that's not because you're tired, but because you don't want to erase the feeling. The game doesn't break you, it shifts you, and that quiet confidence is rare nowadays. And summarizing everything what I said in this video, if you want comfort, this game isn't for it. If you want a power fantasy, this isn't it. If you need constant validation, this isn't it. One more time. And that's fine. Not every game is meant to feel good. Expedition isn't for everyone, and that's its strength. It doesn't entertain, but stays. And sometimes that's exactly what you need.